Okay, it is Monday morning here in Ventura. This is the Paula's final bike workout shakeout thing. Test the race setup minus the wheels before packing the bike up and heading to Miami. I've just got a chill 90-minute ride, so I'm going to come along, play around, and then we're going to do a swim, bike pack, change Airbnbs, and tomorrow morning, first thing, we'll drive to LAX and put her on an airplane. Okay, first thing I got to deal with here before packing this up is, well, I got to clean it because we rode through a bunch of mud. Clean the chain really well. Put some wax on the chain. But then I got to fix this bottle situation. We were just going to go with the zip tie solution here, but Watch Shop sent us this unit, which will allow it to be mounted further back, which we found in the wind tunnel with Specialized that the bottle being moved back is actually faster, within reason. There's a point of where it gets worse. But last minute funness here. So you can get it out?
Yeah. Easier to get it out because there's like more, it's like closer.
Okay.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Been trying to get all of you all night. We haven't talked in months, but that's alright. Was wondering if you wanted to go for a drive. I just need some fresh air and an old friend. I'm so good that we started talking.
All right, Paula's dropped off at the airport, but I just wanted to say, just because I'm sure it's come up and you guys are getting sick of listening to me talk, she's been pretty stressed going into this race. And if you listen to podcasts, I'm sure you've picked up on that. And when you're stressed about racing, and especially when it's early in a big thing like this, you don't want to talk as much. So I've been trying to pick up the slack, and I know she'll be back and chatty in her normal self at some point. So ideally, right after this, we'll go into a race recap. Thanks for watching.
Hey everyone, welcome to That Triathlon Life podcast. I'm Eric Lagerstrom.
I'm Paula Findlay.
And this is our triathlon podcast where we talk about what's going on in triathlon, what's going on in our triathlon life, and mostly we answer questions from the audience.
Yeah, so just to rewind to your original point, I was not really looking forward to going more because I had raced in Miami in early March in 2021, and it did not go well. It was really early in the year. It was super humid and hot. And what I forgotten was that in March of that year, it was actually a shorter race. So it was an 1,800 meter swim, a 60K bike, and a 13K run. So I remember suffering my brains out then, and it was like 75% of the distance. It wasn't even a full 100K distance. So when I realized that, I was like even more worried. And I think 3 years later on, I'm a little fitter at this time than I was at that point because I'd taken a later off season after Daytona and all this, but you still never really know. And another thing that I maybe overlooked was like the heat and humidity prep that's required for a race in Florida, no matter what time of day you're racing. Because we started at 5 p.m., which is very unusual, I thought the heat would not be as much of a factor as it was because we were going to be in the dark for half the race. But as the heat kind of drops, and it drops to like 26 Celsius, like it doesn't really drop, the humidity rises to like 90%. So with all that in mind, I went into the race with the mentality of a little bit like Dallas last year, where you cannot push beyond a certain amount or you'll just cook yourself for the rest of the race. And I was sort of keeping pacing in mind over like, go as hard as I can. And for some reason that kind of like calmed my nerves a little bit to know that there was going to be an element of tactics. A lot of people were going to blow up or not finish. There's only 20 women on the start line. 2 really big names didn't even show up. So it kind of took a little bit of the pressure off, and it was like not survival, but just get to the end and you will be fine. You will do fine from a result standpoint. By the time the start came, I was a little more relaxed than I'd been in the weeks prior. And part of that was just being around everyone all week. Like we were all at the same hotel. We were all at the briefings together and doing interviews with each other, eating breakfast together, eating dinners with friends. So it was kind of like we were all in this together. And I think that's a little bit of the vibe of the whole T100 series that creates, is like you get to know everyone really well. And by the time the start line comes, at least me, I'm not like the most ferocious, like, oh, I want to beat all of you. I kind of feel more like, oh, we're all just doing this and we all kind of want the best for each other. Although I'd love to win, I'm kind of like friends with half the people, you know? I don't know if everyone feels this way when they race, but it helps me feel in the race when I'm like happy and like people and whatever. In that race, it was kind of like a war of attrition getting to the finish line. I don't know. I was like concerned for people's well-being more than just like beating them. So the swim felt like it took forever. I was starting beside Lucy on one side, Emma on the other. And of course I cannot stay with Lucy, but it's kind of fun to try to use her momentum to maybe get a little bit of an advantage at the start, like stay on her hip for 10 seconds and then get on her feet for 10 seconds. And then that in itself is a little bit of a advantage in getting me ahead of some of the people that maybe don't have as good of a start. So I kind of used that momentum, like didn't pause and went, because I knew 100% that's what they were going to do. So I had a pretty good start. I didn't ever get touched or fought with or anything. And I just kind of found myself at the tail end of this pack, but I could tell it was a good pack because it was Holly and India Lee and people that are strong swimmers. I was kind of trying to be as conservative as possible, didn't kick very much, trying to be smart and not overcook myself. The first half of the bike was the hottest part, and then it got cooler and you could push a little bit more as the sun went down and the wind changed and all that. So I think me going out conservatively on the bike, because India Lee was like right in front of me, and she's way better at cornering than me. That was probably my biggest struggle on this course, was the technical parts. And in any other race, I'm pretty confident that like, oh, she's right there, but I'm going to bridge up to her because I'm pretty confident in my biking ability. But she just kind of kept slipping away. But I was kind of worried about going over like 260 watts at any point, just because that will cook you for later. She was just cornering so much better that gaining a couple seconds every turn turns into a lot after a couple laps. So she kind of got out of sight, and I was riding alone for a lot of it and just kind of worried because I wasn't feeling that well and I was alone. There was nothing to engage me or make me corner better, and no target to like chase or anything. Eventually Lucy Byram and Kat did come around me, and I was like, okay, here's my chance. So From a power perspective, it was not challenging to stay with them, but from a technical cornering perspective, it was like I would get yo-yoed off on every corner and I'd have to bridge back up a bit, but at least I had something to do at this point. As I'm riding at 20 meters and you can feel, I don't know whether it's like all aerodynamic benefit or drafting benefit, but there's a lot of psychological benefit of being behind someone and pacing off of them. But it's shocking to me feeling the 20 meters, knowing that Ironman is 12. Well, maybe it was my fault for wearing a tinted visor and I should have had a clear visor on. That would be the first change I would make. But we did start in the daylight and I thought with a sunset, the sun might be directly in your eyes for part of the race, so maybe a tinted visor is good. And then we were assured by Bill Christie from Clash that the lights were going to be on full blast. Like it looks like daytime, how bright these lights are, because they host like NASCAR races there. Like it has to be bright. My concerns were zero about it being too dark. And I've raced in Daytona before in the dark and it was completely light enough and everything. So the problem here was like the inner road course was inside of the track and the lights, I think, are more meant to light the outside oval. So while we were on that outside oval, it was okay. And then as soon as we turned in to do the inside, which also happens to be the technical part where you're having to corner, it was really, really dark. And I had my visor on. I spent 2 laps maybe like navigating this super sketchy, like super pitch black inner track and just kind of looking at race ranger lights in front of me. Like all I could see was the lights. It's like, just follow the race ranger lights. And then there was like an ambulance and sirens and I thought someone had crashed and they were telling us to slow down on the corner. So yeah, it was just like hectic, like a lot going on. I don't think that in real life it was as dark as it appeared for you guys. Yeah, I got off the bike with Kat, Holly, Lucy Byram, and then I knew that India Lee and Lucy Charles were ahead of us. And I knew Daniela was like a minute behind us. It was really humid. I felt like I was running like 5 minutes per K and I kept looking at my watch and it would say like 3:55 per K. So I was going quicker than I felt, but it felt so slow. It felt just like a slog. And I did end up catching Lucy Byram and I passed Kat Matthews, who was having a calf issue. So I was like passing people, which was nice. I never actually got passed on the run, which helps with the confidence or whatever. And Holly took out pretty quick at a transition, but then she kind of kept the same gap the whole time. So I at least had her to like watch, and not like I was necessarily trying to surge and catch Holly because I didn't want to overcook myself. Again, it was really humid and I didn't feel well. I felt like a little bit dizzy at points and that worried me. So I slowed down and made sure I got like everything at the aid stations and put ice down my kid and all the things that you should do. So that was my biggest feeling of the whole race, was that I was never at any point racing. I was just doing what I could, and that ended up putting me in 4th place. Yeah, I think on the last lap I was getting splits to Daniela, or last 2 laps, and it was like getting a little closer. So I thought, okay, you're almost done. You can push a little harder than you want to. So I did that, but frick, running 7 times around that thing was so much. Like after you'd done 2 and it felt like you'd been running for days and you still have 5 to go, I do not like the lapped format for the run. It's an extremely lonely experience, and you think like, oh, racing in a track, it has all this hype and there's people all around, but it was the opposite. It felt completely alone in the dark, running with no one around. So that I struggled with that a lot. It was just like, okay, we made it to the end. Like, what happened to half the people? Is Emma okay? Holy shit, India, you had an amazing race. That's crazy. Like, just feelings like that, you know? I was super happy for Holly because I'm pretty good friends with Holly. And Jackie was still out there trooping away. She finished. That was great. She's another one of my really good friends. So it was a little bit of relief, but also like, wow, it is so late. Oh my gosh, really? There's doping control? I still have to go do that for 2 hours? I'm just like, and coming 4th is so anticlimactic because like the top 3 go to the podium and there's a little bit of hype and excitement around that. But I just like went and got my bags. So it's another thing about a race like this is you think literally anything could happen. Holly could start walking and then I'd be 3rd. Like there's there's just so many unknowns in a race that's this challenging condition-wise that you just can't really give up because you don't know what's going to happen in front of you. So, yeah.
One last thing I want to do, if you're up for it, is takeaways, things that you want to improve, or like, do you have any thoughts on how you could be better at the things that you said that were a little bit lacking?
Yeah. I think the secret is just getting a little bit fitter and race sharp, and that was my concern going in, was that I'm not extremely fit and I'm not race sharp at all because I haven't raced this year. So all those things come with time, and I think that's why I tend to race way better in September, October, November, is that so many races are under your belt, it becomes second nature. You're definitely sharper and have way more training and a summer of training in the heat. But I also think the more that I ride my TT bike outside throughout the year, the better it is. I can probably count on like 2 hands how many TT rides I've done this year outside. So it takes getting used to coming from Zwift and then going to a course like that.
That's alright. Was wondering if you wanted to go for a drive. I just need some fresh air and an old friend. I'm so glad that we started talking again. Yo, turn up the radio, I love this song. Remember when we used to stay up all night long? How's it been going? Oh, how's it, mom? The roads are so empty, this is so damn calm. If we stick on the highway, we can drive all night long. If it's fine by you, I'll take the passenger seat.